everyone, welcome to the Stealthy Crafter. I'm Jessica and today we'll be doing a Whip Chat. If you're new here and you don't know what WIP stands for, it stands for Work in Progress, and what that normally means is that you can bring out your own whips, or if you want you could do things like you can do chores around the house, you could drive around, you could just sit on the couch and do absolutely nothing while you listen to me ramble about what's going on in my week. With that being said, I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm actually a lot farther in this than I thought I would be when I would start my Whip Chats with this. In fact, I might be finished before my next Whip Chat. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe I'll have one more week of this. We'll see. But anyway, this is Catch Me by Mrs. Butter. I'll pull this out for you guys to see, the actual picture. So I am almost halfway done, I would say. A little close to halfway. I'm finished everything except this little section right here on this row. But yeah, it's 22 by 26 inches, if I remember correctly, and there's 50 colors in here. 1 AEB and 4 fairy dust drills. So it has a lot. It's round, so which has been my my weakness right now. I'm just, oh my goodness, I'm kind of tired of rounds. And it's funny because it's just like I used to like rounds and now it's like I like squares a lot more. But yeah, let me start pulling out what I need to do. It's a lot of color blocking. I decided to work on this section for you guys because I figured I decided not to work on the butt during my Whip Chat. I was like, maybe not. Oh, let's not focus on the butt. so I decided to do those sections and worked over here instead. But yeah, I apologize. I didn't do a Whip Chat last week. I was just, I had a lot on my plate. Oh, that's yellow. Let's go and switch that out to over here so I can actually see the drills. I have to have the light pad a little bit brighter than normal just so I can make sure I'm putting the drills in as neat as I can with the round ones. But yeah, last week was a bit of it was a busy week, and being tagged for that scavenger stash video was a blessing, honestly. I was like already going, oh boy, I don't have a video. What am I going to do? And then Mackenzie tags me and I'm like, perfect. Because I was just like, was getting ready for a lot of other stuff. So, but yeah, it's been one of those weeks. But, anyway, one of the reasons why it's just been so, hectic was last week I was looking around to go visit the DMV. So, as you guys know, I don't have my license yet. I got my learners last year, but with chemo and, with the cancer, the chemo and all that stuff, yada, 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 learning how to drive kind of just fell off of the things that I needed to handle. That was the least important thing to do. Unfortunately, in the state, you can only have your learner's permit for a year before it expires, and I had to go and renew it. And I was desperately trying to get it renewed for online. I was trying to get it done online because I'm still a little embarrassed about my hair. It's coming in nicely, but I'm still a little embarrassed by it. It's not the length where I want it to be. It's still, it would look great on other people. I will tell you, the pixie haircut looks great on a lot of ladies. I don't think it looks good on me. So I'm like, I really want my hair to get longer. I like short haircuts, but not this short. But yeah, it's just, I didn't want to get my picture taken with my hair the way it was. So I was trying to get it done online. And I was doing that by trying to contact my over at my eye place. The words are hard today, guys. So I was trying to go over to where I got my eye exam and be like, may I have, the vision screening just to prove that, I can see, yada, yada, yada. So I can just do the whole thing online. And they said, sure. I'm still pretty sure they sent me the North Carolina one. So I got the wrong state certificate. So, because they sent me the number, I'm like, so I've been trying to contact them to get that changed. It wasn't working. And then my husband kind of dropped a bombshell on me, which made me go, okay, I'm going to have to go in anyway because my learners is expiring. It expired by the time I got to the DMV. But I was just like, but he told me that we're refinancing the house and we're actually getting my name put on it. So I know. It's just when we got the house, my credit was non-existent, and he had actual credit. So we decided it was better just to have his name on the house, and it was just like, okay, now that we're refinancing, might as well add me along, right? Kind of in case something happens to him. Knock on wood. That way I won't have a whole battle and stuff like that. But anyway, I needed to have a valid ID. So went to go on to the DMV on Wednesday. I spent like the entire last few days beforehand. I was just like running around trying to find things like proof of address, my birth certificate, my social security, my marriage license. Like, I was like trying to get everything just so I had everything prepped when I get to the DMV, because good Lord, it's just, goodness. I knew it was going to be it was just going to take forever. And of course, where I was, the DMV opened an hour later on Wednesday compared to the rest of the week. So we couldn't just go there straight after we dropped the kids off of school. No. We had to go like an hour later. So it was just like, great. Great. So we, goodness, it was just such a pain. And of course, when we get there, I would say it's still about 30 minutes before they were set to open, but there was already quite a line. So I was just like, okay, just drop me off. I'll stand in the line. I'll deal with it. And, we'll get through this. I forgot I have to fill out a form when I'm there too, by the way. I completely forgot about that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah. Had to wait there, and oh my goodness, it was just like, I hate waiting in lines, especially since I'm feeling very self-conscious about the way I look, and I'm wearing my little beanie hat that I have right now, because I'm still, like I said, I'm self-conscious about the way I look. Let me go grab some coffee for just a moment. But yeah, I was behind this elderly couple, and I don't know if I smelled or something. I made sure to take a shower that morning, but I must have smelled, because the way the lady looked at me was like I had dung stuck on me or something. Like I smelled of manure or something, because good Lord, like the glare I got from her. The entire time, we were standing in line, like every time she would turn around, like to look behind, it was just a constant disgust for me. I'm just like, what the heck? What is going on? And here I am like being polite, just smiling slightly, blah blah blah, right? And I'm just like, trying to avoid looking at her the whole time, because at this point it's just like, I I'm trying to like not to start something because it's just like at this point it was just like, okay, I get it. There's something about me you don't like. Stop staring. I mean, like, just eyes up front, lady. But anyway, there was there was like a dad and his daughter behind me, and obviously she's like going to go get take her get her learners and everything. She was like wanting to get her learners, and so I just turned around and started talking to them instead. I was just like, it was kind of funny because it's just like because he said something and I kind of just spoke up. I mean, like, you know, because he's all like, would you stop fidgeting so much to his daughter, just in a joking way. And then I turned around and I was all like, I wouldn't be too hard on her. I'm fidgeting too, which was true. Like, I was like trying, like shifting myself from leg to leg because I was just like feeling like I get tired easy. And I was like, doing stuff that I used to do when I was in marching band back in high school. It was to keep me focused and everything. It was just like I was just constantly fidgeting. And he starts laughing. And we're just kind of chit-chatting, and then all of a sudden his daughter's like all like, all right, doors open. And of course they don't open. And I'm like, and he goes, what did you expect? She goes, I don't know. I was just hoping for them to open. I'm like, no. You got to be like a Jedi. I'm like, you know, and I'm like, you have to do the wave and everything. Like, I'm like, open the doors. And of course the doors don't open. And I'm like, darn. So, yeah, we were just kind of cracking up and just being silly at that point, which, you know, helped make the time go by so much faster. Unfortunately, you know, turned around for a moment just so that way I could make sure I'm not like, you know, people aren't like shifting too much forward. And that lady's just still giving me the dirty look. It's just like, okay, you know. Anyway, she finally decides she's going to move and have her husband be in front of me instead. So it's just like, all right, great. You know, maybe she'll stop staring at me. No. She still stares over his shoulder. It's like, what am I doing wrong? We're just sitting outside. Well, not sitting, we're standing outside. Just waiting to get our picture, you know, or not pictures, but like waiting for whatever we need to be done at the DMV. What did I do wrong? You're ahead of me. You know, I wasn't being loud until, you know, just that moment, you know, when I finally started talking to someone. But good Lord, you know. But yeah, anyway, doors finally open. We all go through, and it was like very efficient. I really liked how efficient this DMV is compared to past ones I've gone to. And, you know, essentially, you know, I was like, you know, there was like two separate lines. One, because there was like one line going from the separate entrance. There was like another entrance that you can walk through. So they were actually talking to an actual person. And then this person, there was another person who's like manhandling a kiosk instead, and we have to tell them, you know, what we're here for and everything. So she just like pushed a bunch of buttons and gave me my ticket, told me to fill out a form, which I'm like, oh crap, you know. And of course they tell you to fill out these forms, but they don't give you any pens or anything to fill them out with. So I'm like, oh boy, what do I do? I don't have anything to fill out with. And then I sit down, and luckily there's this guy that has a pen next to me, and I go, I'm sorry, could I borrow your pen? And he was so kind. He's like, yeah, sure, here you go. And then of course, as I'm filling out my paperwork, his number gets called, and I'm like, you know, I'm about to hand him the pen and just try and figure it out. He goes, I'll come back for it. I'm like, okay, thank you. So yeah, I prepared for everything but a pen. Of course, right? So yeah, I'm just like, I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm seeing that he's still like, at least he's in my line of vision. So like, I finished filling out. I felt awkward to go up to him right now because while he's talking to someone, so I figured I'll just wait. But yeah, he was there for quite some time because it took about, I want to say about 15 minutes before my number got called up to a different kiosk. And so I stood up and of course my phone falls down. Great. It makes a loud noise. But man, those chairs were so uncomfortable. You know, they're not they're not heavy people friendly. they're not fat people friendly. They got the small arms. Like if there was just no arms on them, I would have been okay. I would have been fine. It would have been like uncomfortable, but at least I would have some breathing room. But anyway, it was just like I was so grateful that I got called quickly. But so you know, when you get to the DMV, you never know who you're going to get. You're going to get someone who's probably like really overly, you know, by the book, like go through the entire things, and then there's some people who's like, meh, it counts, you know, right? So my learners was already expired for a few days at this point, and you know, I was kind of worried about the fact that, you know, I have to have 2 proofs of residence because it is considered expired. And I was like, I had a couple of papers, but I didn't know if they would count or anything like that, you know, because 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 it was like a month-long bill, and I haven't gotten my next bill yet, so it's just like, you know, hopefully, you know, this is close enough, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, she was just like, yeah, whatever. She was very, you know, very blasé, didn't care. So it was just like, whew, you know, so sigh of relief. Like, it was just like, okay. She and I chatted quite a bit while she was processing everything. And, you know, thankfully don't have to retake the test. I don't have to take it next year if I renew it again. Hopefully I won't. But if I have to renew it again next year, I don't have to take it again. But then the year after that, I'm gonna have to take my skills test again, like the not the skills test, the written test. There we go. Goodness, words are hard today, guys. They are extremely hard. But yeah, so that was a relief. Paid for the whole thing. Then had to sit and get my picture taken at a different spot. And good Lord, this lady gave no F's. Excuse my language. But she did not care about anything or whatnot. Like, I did not have enough time to school my face. I forgot about the beanie because the beanie's been part of me for a while now. But yeah, she's all like, take your hat off. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. You know, like I take it off, and then I'm like trying to straighten it a little bit quickly, you know, because it was sticking up by that point when I pulled my hat off. And I remember the last time I was there last year, I don't smile for my photos because I was always, I don't know if it was a myth or not, but I was like always told you're not supposed to smile for your ID. But the last time I was there, I had a different one. The same lady was there. I remember, but there was 2 people last time, and I got the other one, and she was all like, smile, you did a good job, you know, at least smile. And I had a slight smile for that one. So, but this one, I didn't have time to school a reaction or anything. I didn't want to smile or anything because I didn't want to be yelled at if I was doing wrong. But I had the thousand yard stare going on in my photo. Like, I'm just like staring off into the distance. I'm like, you know what? Take it, whatever. I don't care. You know? Hair looks awful, whatever. I just want to go. I want to go. So yeah, got my ID. Whew. That was done. Check mark. Right? I know. Long story short, I went to the DMV and got my ID renewed. Made sure that it was a real ID as well. That was the whole point, because I'm going to go to a retreat at the end of May, so I'm all excited about that. And I'm going on a plane, guys. I'm like, I'm going on a plane, and I'm scared. So yeah, but yeah, it's like after that, get home and I'm just so exhausted. The whole thing only took 30 minutes, but I was just so exhausted at that point because people drain me. I get tired so quickly. And I was just like, okay, you know what? We're going to just focus on diamond painting. And that's all I've been kind of doing the last few weeks. So, like the week prior, after my whip and chat, I finished Garden Magic, and then immediately hopped into a different round. I didn't show it to you guys on my Whips to Be, but I got it off Amazon, and it's huggable. You know, it was like a Randall Spangler, and I finished that within over the weekend prior to my scavenger hunt video. So I had that done in the weekend, and then I started working back on this. And I've been just like I've been like focusing so much on this one right here because it's just like, I don't know, it's just been I want to get it done. I like pastels, I like color blocking. I don't think I like them together. um Not that there's anything wrong with that. I prefer square color blocking over round color blocking. That's for sure. I definitely prefer that. Um, but I can still do it. It's just that I got to take a bit more breaks in between whenever I'm doing this to kind of also straighten up the drills. That's probably one of the things why I don't like round color blocking as much, is like or rounds in general, is like I'm like constantly trying to make sure the lines are straight. I know it's not, you don't need to be perfect with your placement, you know, just close enough, but in my mind it's like I need them as straight as possible. Or at least as, you know, like I said, like as straight as possible. There is a little bit of wiggles and stuff like that, and I'm making sure that they're like all around so you see the same gapping, like so it's like every four there's like a little line. To me that feels better than having it kind of looking weird compared to squares where I do that and it looks better in my mind. I'm weird, I don't know if I'm weird. I don't know. So, but yeah, I decided to just kind of zone out after all of that, and just relax because good lord, I didn't want to deal with that lady again. I never saw her again after that, by the way, after we all went to our respective areas and stuff like that. Never saw her again. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. um, but yeah, she I still don't know what her problem was. Oh my goodness. There were some people who actually, you know, smelled quite bad while we were there. So I was just like, I know I wasn't one of those people that was smelling quite bad, because like I kept sniffing myself. I'm like, I did the, you know, check, you know, because I was paranoid that I was, and nothing. I even asked my husband, like when I got in, I'm like, do I smell? And he smelled me. He's like, no, you smell just fine. Why? And I was just like, because there was just this woman that just kept glaring at me the entire time. So, but yeah. Anyway, so spent the rest of the day kind of chilling a little bit. I'm still get like bouts of exhaustion. So like to me that was a lot of work. I know it wasn't a lot, but it was a lot of work. I still get a lot of bouts of, like I said, bouts of exhaustion. So like I did take a small nap. Like I diamond painted a bit, and then I was just like, oh, I can't focus anymore. I'm gonna go lay down. That's been another thing. I've been like listening to my body a lot more, and you know, taking naps, even though it frustrates me. Taking as many naps as I do. But I did promise that I would take better care of myself, and that's one of the things I'm trying to do, even though it just feels like that's all I do is sleep. And you know, I talked to my doctor about it, and it's just, I was told that it's just how my body's going to be for a bit, you know, as I'm recovering and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, you know, just he asked how long I sleep, and you know, just to make sure that, you know, nothing's wrong. Plus, me being anemic makes the exhaustion worse. So, I've been trying to still trying to consume iron and stuff like that, so which is not fun. I do not like iron. um but yeah, anyway, so Wednesday, DMV, check. And then the next day was the day when we had to go and sign paperwork and all that fun stuff. So we had to go and do that. My husband worked from home that day. He let him work from home the day prior to, which was really nice. He didn't have to do that, but he let them know what was going on. They're pretty good about letting him do that. Like, he talks, he basically explains the situation. They're like, okay. So yeah, anyway, they knew that he was signing important paperwork and all that stuff. At least his boss did. And then he and I decided, okay, let's go. And we spent quite some time at this lawyer's office signing all this paperwork. It's a struggle. Well, not a struggle. Excuse me, sorry. Just more like a pain in the tuchus. I'm going to take another sip of coffee. So, the reason why we're refinancing the house is, well, one of the things is we do not like the mortgage company that we're with right now. It's a long story and full of so much, oh my goodness. It's full of craziness. But we were dealing with a certain mortgage company when we bought the house. We had one mortgage company, and immediately they sold us to another one, as they do, right? Not a big deal, but it was like, dang, it was like within a month of us having the house. We were immediately switched to a different mortgage company. It was like, okay. And then about a month or two after that, we got switched to this mortgage company that we've been stuck with for the last 10 years. And it has been absolutely heck on earth. Like, it has been just a miserable experience. Let me explain. So for the first year, we almost went into foreclosure. And my husband had to declare bankruptcy because of them. And it wasn't that we were not paying our payments. We were showing proof that they were taking the money out of our bank account. We were like, but every month they said, hey, you haven't paid. And they kept saying it every month, like adding it on more and more and more. Like, so it was getting bigger, and my husband would go in and be like, hey, what the heck? Here's the deal, showing them, he would have to physically go to their office. There was an actual office in the area. So he would go there and be like, showing them the proof, showing them the bank statements. And they were like, okay, it's just a clerical error. We'll get this taken care of. It'll be cleared by next month. Never happened. Fast forward, we get told that we're going to be foreclosed. They're foreclosing our house because we haven't paid in almost a year. And we're like, we have been paying. Which like I said, the most frustrating thing. We have been paying. And it was just like I said, it was a whole headache. And my husband had to go and get a lawyer, and they said, well, it's so late in this, we're going to just have to declare bankruptcy to save your house. So we filed that and spent like all the way, like it was, like I said, a bit of a headache. And then of course the pandemic hit like a few years later. We were so close to being done, and then my husband had his job cut, his pay like by 60%, so, or 40 or 60%, but it was just like, it was over half. So I remember that much. It was just like we were not having any room to be able to pay for everything. It was this like a absolute struggle during the pandemic, and we couldn't do any like relief programs because my husband was through bankruptcy, and it was just one of the things that felt like we were getting kicked while we were down, that kind of thing. And but we went through it. We got through it. We finished it through the other side, and then the mortgage company sent us another thing saying that they were putting a lien on our house, and because of court fees and stuff like that. And we're like, what are you talking about? And it was basically the court fees for the whole foreclosure process and yada yada yada. So my husband had to go and dish out even more money, but they said, he's like, you didn't disclose this in the whole thing. Now, during this whole thing, his lawyer was supposed to be building a case. He said he was building a case against this mortgage company because we're not the only ones who dealt with this. In fact, if you look them up, they have a history of doing this. They settled at least twice, from what I remember, from doing shady work like this. But the lawyer doesn't work anymore. It's like the case fell through or something like that, and he no longer works. And my husband's just like doesn't want to deal with it anymore. I was just like, he considers it whatever, but he just wants to move on, kind of thing. I'm like, okay. I'm still all angry about the thing, and I'm like, I want to fight this still, but it's just like, okay, I can understand it. I'm not gonna push it, So during this whole time, we're still worried that they'll start acting like this again, like they'll start doing it again in the future. And my husband wanted to at least switch mortgage companies for the longest time, and we've been trying, and we had to wait till his credit was good and where we're out of the whole thing. So it's been a few years, and we're finally now in that position where we can do that, which is why we're getting our mortgage switched to our credit union bank. Whee! But yeah, it was just a whole process. But as we're doing that, my husband's like, why not we refinance as well? Because we already have a loan from the bank anyway, so combine the whole thing and that kind of stuff and it actually makes the payments lower than what we would pay altogether. So, which is quite a surprise. So we're going to be doing that. We're refinancing a bit. We're going to try and help pay some of this medical debt that I got. Because oh my goodness, my husband was just asking me about some of my stuff, and I was just telling him about it because I'm in doing the dutiful monthly payment that I have, and he goes, how much is left? And I just went, an amount. I told him, look, this isn't going to be paid off for about 4 to 5 years, and I'm going to be tacking more stuff on it. He goes, okay, is there a limit? I'm like, I have no clue if there's a limit or not to access one. So, but I was like, right now, it's going to take about 4 more years to pay off my medical debt, and we're going to just be including it with all this CT scans. It's just CT scans are expensive, even with insurance, guys. It's ridiculous. So at least I have to do another 2 more, I think. Maybe another 2 more, and then I'm covered for the rest of the year with all my doctor's appointments. Where I know, it's just goodness gracious. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, so we decided I'm gonna refinance a bit, try and pay off a little bit of the medical debt, so we can sign a little bit more in relief, kind of thing. So we're doing that. But yeah, I'm just sitting at the office, and we're just okay, we're bored. We're not in a bad shape, but we're just wanting to, we want a little bit more breathing room, kind of thing. But anyway, we're just sitting there, and we're twiddling our thumbs, waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's just like, and yeah, like I said, it was literally the day after I went to the DMV. So it was just like, okay, please don't make a comment about, hey, this, you just, got your letters, that kind of thing. But yeah, no comments, thankfully. But yeah, Damon just like went through so much signing, so much paperwork, and we were free. We're like, yay, we're out. But yeah, we're supposed to get news about like if it's switched over or not. We're hoping. It should. I know that the mortgage company was giving them a lot of grief, of course. And my husband had to do a lot more work on his end compared to like if, our mortgage company cooperated, which, of course they won't cooperate because they're them. But yeah, hopefully, we'll find out by this week, if things gone through. So keep your fingers crossed. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, that's the whole story about my whole, mortgage situation, like that we've dealt with. It's just been such a pain, and it's just been such a sore spot for both of us about this thing. It's just like frustrated us to no end, about the whole stuff. It's just like we still have the paperwork showing all the proof of payment to them, and it's just and my husband's just like, just drop it. And it's hard to drop it because it's like we literally spent double the amount of money. And it's just like I said, it's hard to drop it. So but yeah, so after that, after we finished signing, we decided to go and get something to eat because at that point we haven't ate at all. And it was close to picking up at least the twins from school. And we're like, okay, well, we're both starving. Let's just grab some fast food and go, right? So we stopped at Wendy's and then just started driving straight to the school. Like literally got there right around the same time we normally do, which was awesome. So it was like great timing. And my husband decided to be nice and treat the kids to some Frosties. So they got the Thin Mint Frosties, and which was really good. I got to try some. It was delicious. But yeah, it was just like, okay, all right, this is kind of nice, yeah. But it's just like it's a little too much. It was a little too much at one point. I think I would probably prefer to just have the regular Frosty, to be honest. And then let's see. Yeah, then the rest of the week kind of went by easily. We had to do a lot more. I had to focus on making sure the kids were done with a lot of their homework and all that stuff. Nicole was doing well. Nicole was doing well until she had like a huge fight with her friend, and then we had to deal with that blowout. Oh man. I will say I don't like this friend very much, and I try not to let my emotions show it, but she's very toxic and she seems to do more harm than good. But I have been letting Nicole navigate that herself. I try to kind of guide her, but I also know, I can't just like, you're forbidden from ever talking to her again, because there's points where I can do that, but I've learned to pick my battles. And this one, I'm just trying to help her through it. And I think at this point she is finally done with this friend. So I'm just like, at one point I'm like, okay, how long is this finally done with this friend going to last? And at the same time I'm like, okay, I don't have to hear about this friend for a while at least. But it's not good for her. It's just like, so I'm hoping that as she's moving forward, she'll learn a bit more on, you know, better friendships and stuff like that. She has some good friends. Like I really do like a good part of her friends. Some of her friends, you know, they're okay. I'm just like, oh gosh, I can't handle them. They only are. I can handle them in small doses because they're just so. There's. I think it's funny because she gets so mad at her brother and sister for acting the way they do. And then her friends, they act the exact same way as her brother and sister, and she finds it hilarious when they act like that, but then gets so mad at Michael and Gina for acting the way they do. And I'm just like, make it make sense. But yeah, I can only like sometimes I can only handle my kids in small doses. I will fully admit that. I know it sounds bad, but there's times where like with when I make sure I don't give Michael as much sugar, like, you know, because the moment I do, I know, especially if it has certain ingredients in it, he is going to be bouncing off the walls, and I'm like, no, can't handle that. I can handle normal Michael. I can handle you know, him asking so many questions, 140 miles an hour, being inquisitive, you know, still being very energetic. Just don't give the kid sugar. Please don't give him sugar. Because otherwise, you know, I'm just like, oh boy. And yes, you know, we gave him Frosties. So yeah. But anyway, so oh my goodness. So yeah, I think it's hilarious how she has friends that act exactly like her siblings, but she can't stand her siblings, you know, acting that way. But you know, anyway. So some of her friends, I'm just like, oh man, you need to calm down, because they act like they eat sugar 24/7. But yeah, she has some really good friends, and then some of them that I really like. I feel bad for because they're kind of calm, they're collected. She has two friends that are like that, and one of them moved. Her best friend was the one that moved last summer, and now the other one is moving this summer. And then I just met one of her other friends that are a bit more on the calmer side, and she's moving. And I'm just like, can y'all not move, please? I need some sort of... It's like, I do let her have her friends over, but it's just like, I gotta take a break before... like, because she's always wanting them to have them come over. And I'm just like, nope, I gotta have a small break. I gotta have a small break before that. But her best friend's coming over. So she went up to Ohio last month to see her best friend. And now her best friend is coming this weekend. So we are going to try and make sure things are all, you know, comfortable for her friend and everything. I'm sure it's going to be a big climate difference because it's colder up there in Ohio. At least from what my dad said in West Virginia, and he was still saying how cold it was earlier. I don't know. I haven't checked the weather app. The temperature might have climbed up now. Speaking of temperature, tomorrow it's going to be like 80 degrees. What the heck? And then after that, it's going to go drop down to the 60s again. And I'm just like, can you make up your mind? Can you make up your mind? Stick to a temperature. Stick to it and stay with it. Because like it is all over the place. Now we're in the part of the season where it's going to be very cold in the morning and warm in the afternoons, and it's frustrating because it's like, do I give my kid a coat or do I give my kid a jacket? Because they're going to be sweltering when they get out of school, but they're freezing in the morning. So yeah, right now, jacket weather. I'm about to put up the coats. I'm about to put up the space heaters. I'm hoping that there's not one more gasp of winter coming through. I'm going to just, you know, I'm taking my chances at this point. But yeah, I just need to have a little bit more space. All the space heaters that are upstairs, they're going to get unplugged. They're going to be put up. The coats are going to be put in my closets away until next year. Hopefully they'll still fit. If not, donate those, buy new ones. Same old drill like I always do. um, but yeah, it's just oh man, whew. Oh, and oh my goodness, one of the things that's happened in this during this time, we had to air out our house. Um, I guess perfect timing since it was a warm day, and it wasn't last weekend; it was the weekend prior. So before the whole DMV and going to the refinancing the house and all that stuff. Before all of that, right? Oh my goodness. So I've been letting my kids work on being more independent, right? Been, I still kind of keep an eye on them from time to time. But anyway, so my son, Michael, loves ramen, all right? We've taught him how to cook ramen in the microwave. Don't get ahead of yourself, guys. I'm pretty sure you know where this is ending. So he knows how to handle cooking ramen. We made sure of it. Like, that's one of the things, like, we guided him on working with ramen. So, anyway, weekend prior to last, he's all like, he always begs for ramen. Like every weekend, it's like, may I have ramen? And, like, I don't want him to have that much sodium. It's like, so there's times where I'm like, no. Anyway, I said, okay. I'm like, you got the drill, dude? And he goes, yep, got it, So, like, all right, awesome, right? So I'm like, I didn't bother looking after him this time around because he's made ramen so many times, dozens of times already. He knows the drill, right? Or at least I thought he did. Anyway, I'm in a different part of I'm still downstairs, but I'm in a different part, so the smell doesn't hit me yet, right? And then all of a sudden, Jana's all like, it's burning. The microwave's, smoking. And I'm like, what? And then immediately run over and yeah, it's smoking. It's the house is starting to fill up. I'm coughing. And then I'm like, I open it up and I see the package. You could see the package wasn't even opened up. And I'm just like, Michael, did you add water? And he goes, no, was I supposed to? And I'm like, Michael, we've added water every single time. And then, of course, he starts freaking out. I'm like, I'm calming him down, like, it's okay. I'm letting my husband know of the situation because he was upstairs. And I'm like, yeah, our son, he smoked the house. He burnt the ramen, so yay, burnt ramen, woo! It still smells awful. Our microwave is stained yellow inside. Like, it is terrible. We have scrubbed the heck out of it. And it, like, every time I walk past a microwave, it's just like, I'm feeling, I feel like I'm in a smoker's hall. It was just like, oh, the smell's awful. So we had to air out the house. We had to go and air it out. Yay! So yeah, we had to, like I said, we had to air it out and all that fun stuff. It wasn't really that fun. But anyway, so yeah, I did not let him cook ramen this weekend. When he asked for ramen, I said, okay. And I immediately started working on it instead. I'm like, nope. You do not have ramen privileges for a little bit, dude. Just for a little bit until we got this, he, like I said, he's very forgetful at times. Like, and I don't know where his mind wanders, but it wanders. So he's unfortunately my kid. Because guess what happened, guess what happened last week? Oh my gosh. So, in my defense, miscommunication error. There was a communication error. In my defense is what I'm going to go with. Okay? So, morning time, right? We're getting used to the new time difference, right? Right? Yeah. I'm exhausted. Yeah. And then my husband, he turns on the oven because we got rid of our I mean, it doesn't matter. We got rid of our toaster, but I want our toaster. But anyway, we have turnovers. He's going to warm them up. I'm like, okay, cool, right? And I'm like, I'm getting fruits and stuff because we stopped at the farmer's market. I want to say uh, after we went to the DMV. I forgot about that. We went to the farmer's market after DMV, and I got this whole bucket of strawberries. Oh my god, they're a little tart though. So, but anyway, I'm grabbing out the strawberries and the blueberries and stuff like that to put in the kids' bowls, and then my husband's like, "Well, I guess you got breakfast in." I'm like, no, not really. I'm just doing the fruit portion. I was just trying to help him out because normally he's the one that does the does the whole making for breakfast. And he goes, well, I guess you can handle it, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good at I can make breakfast. I know how to do it, right? But he goes, anyway, he throws the turnovers into the oven and says, just leave them in there for a few minutes. It's gonna hit. I have it hit 350. I'm like, okay, cool. And here's my mind process. I'm gonna let it hit 350, then I'm gonna pull it out of the oven, right? Sounds good, right? Should be fine. If it was in the middle rack. If it was in the middle rack, it would have been perfectly fine. This man thought I saw him, granted, I'm exhausted. I'm standing next to him, but I'm short, but I'm not that short. So he puts it on the absolute top rack right near where the burners are, right? So it hits 350. I get up, I start walking in, and then I see smoke coming from the oven. I'm like, oh, come the flip on, right? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And then open it up, sure enough, burnt turnovers. I'm just like, dang it, dang it, dang it. And of course he's all like, I put them in the top rack. You're only supposed to keep them there for a few minutes. I'm like, well, I didn't know you put them on the top rack. Like, and it was literally a few minutes. Like it was with it going to 350. When the moment it hit 350, I was like, all right, cool, pull them out. Just it's like if you really want them truly be a few minutes, set them for 2 to 3 minutes. Tell me 2 to 3 minutes. Not it'll be a few minutes. Because my few minutes and your few minutes are completely different. So yeah. Like I said, miscommunication error. So he's like, I'm right, blah blah blah. I'm like, whatever, yeah. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, had to scrap it and warm up the Pop-Tarts instead. I didn't want to do Pop-Tarts, but I was like, okay, we got to get the kids ready for school. We're going to do turnovers. I'm like, we got fruit. Okay. It's just going to be one of those freebie breakfast days, for them, I'll deal with it, that kind of thing. I'm like, I'll just deal. And so they got their Pop-Tarts. I heated it up in the microwave, coughing as I opened this darn microwave because it still smells. It still smells today, by the way. I walked by it today and I'm like, ooh. And I'm just like, I'm dying here. But yeah, so so I kind of went, look, Michael, Mommy did the same thing you did, as a, just so that way he wouldn't feel so lonely. Okay. But yeah, that was one of the things. So yeah, yay. And then this weekend was it was a nice weekend. Unfortunately wasn't nice, nice for everywhere. So we had storms that came in, and like I said, my kids are very interested in tornadoes as of late. So of course my oldest, she has like apps on her phone now to kind of keep track of things, and she's all like, oh, there's a risk in our area. And I'm like, yeah, but it's during the nighttime, kid. Or like, well, for us it was like more early morning. So, and she was just like, maybe there'll be a tornado. I'm like, don't you dare hope that. She's like, I want to be a storm chaser. I'm like, no, you don't. I'm like, okay, we're not watching any more storm chasing videos for a while. I'm like, go stick back to the whole, I want to be a meteorologist. But, yeah, we were, But yeah, there's just it's terrible with all the tornadoes that have hit, like all the violent ones that came through in Arkansas and Mississippi. Oh my gosh, like I'm just it's just like I think they said that there's at least preliminaries of, goodness, at least 3 or 4 EF4s that they track, which is, it's been a while since that's happened, and I know that they're discussing about the one in Dietz possibly being an EF5, which, if that's the case, it's the first EF5 since 2013. Yeah, I got stupid tornado facts in my head now. But Nicole's like, she's really fascinated by it. She of course is like, oh my god, that's a lot of damage. And then at the same time, she's like looking at the pictures because she's interested, and she's like, she's seen like the anchors are being, bent and stuff like that. She goes, dang, that's really strong, and and she's like wondering if it's going to be an EF5 and stuff like that. So. Well, Michael, I found a really cool tornado channel for him that explains science and the math of it. So we're more interested in that, about the velocity and stuff like that. So it's just like, which is going over my head, and I'm sure he doesn't understand half of it, but he is absorbing it. And I'm just like, cool. And then Jana, she was into watching some of those videos, and then she's like, nope, I'm out. I'm like, I completely understand. I'm not pushing you. You don't have to watch them if you don't want to. But yeah, it's just I had to get on to Nicole about it, a little bit. Like, yeah, tornadoes can be kind of cool, but you got to have some empathy as well for people who are dealing with the loss of their homes and stuff like that. And then we were talking. I was showing her some pictures and stuff, because there was like a place where a tornado hit the exact same houses a year apart, and then Nicole's like, I wouldn't build a house here anymore. I think I would move. I'm like, yeah, me too. I don't know if they're going to build a house again, because good Lord, that's gotta suck. You get your house all nice and built, and then a tornado goes through it again. Jeez, like literally less than a year from when it first hit. It's just crazy. But yeah, so that was part of the weekend. We were being prepared here, even though our risk was like slight. We didn't want to take any chances, and there were tornado warnings east of us, like once the storm passed us, because good Lord, it woke us up. I was prepped for it, but I wasn't prepped for it, and I woke up with it being as loud as it was. Oh my gosh, it woke me up so bad. But yeah, after that, my husband was like, well, I might as well take advantage of the fact that, the ground is soaked and actually do some lawn care. I'm like, oh. And he and the twins went outside, like after it was done raining and everything, and started taking care of the lawn on Sunday. So they like, goodness, what's I don't remember the term, but they poked holes all over they turned up the earth and everything, because our yard looks dead compared to everyone else's yard right now, and it's only a matter of time before the HOA shows up and gives us a fine, because we don't have grass at this point. Because we got a lawn care service that was coming over the winter to kind of basically kill off all the weeds that we have in the yard. So like crabgrass, dandelions, etc., etc. Turns out our yard is 95% weeds, which we kind of figured. We kind of figured that. So yeah, now my husband's like trying to get the yard seeded and stuff like that. So that's what he did on Sunday. He did that, and he watered it again. He watered it again yesterday as well. But but yeah, he did all of that, and that took him some time. So I decided to try and be helpful and clean up inside as well. So like as he was doing that, I got the laundry started separating it, getting it ready for the kids to fold their own clothes, because that's something I've been doing lately is the kids fold their own clothes. I don't fold their clothes anymore. They're old enough to fold them. So it's just like, nope, you guys got it. You guys take care of that now. So it's your responsibility. Let's see. We're going to go with this color. Let's see. What else has been going on? Oh, and then I guess we can end off with this. So last thing we did was on Sunday. So one of the things that happened was our anniversary. My husband and I, not our wedding anniversary, but our first date anniversary. I know it sounds silly. Who celebrates their first date anniversary? I do. But yeah, it's just like we don't, like I said, we don't normally celebrate Valentine's Day. So this is what we celebrate is March 16th. So and it was just it was really sweet. Normally we kind of do a recreation of our first date, but my husband wasn't in the mood for Chinese food this time around. So we decided to just go out for boba. We went for boba and banh mi. So I got grilled beef banh mi and boba tea. And we paid Nicole boba tea for her babysitting services. She got to watch her brother and sister while we went out to eat. And it was just, we're like, you sure you don't want to be paid, like as a babysitter? Because we were offering, and like it, you get paid more. She goes, give me boba. I'm like, okay, all right, fair enough. We're letting you know, but we do buy her a bunch of stuff anyway, so I feel like it kind of evens out anyway. So like because like right now we're preparing for a Disney trip for her. She's going to a state fair. Like it's just, and we got to pay for all of this stuff. So she has like extra spending money. We're letting her have some spending money for that and everything. So figure, might as okay, if she changes her mind, she can let us know. So, and we're happy to do so. We don't want her to feel like she's been taken for a ride, essentially. But yeah, it was really nice being able. We didn't really get to do too much, but it was nice being able to go out for a little bit and hang out with the hubby and everything. And he got me flowers the day before. Like he took Michael out on Saturday to pick up dinner and everything, and he stopped by to get some flowers as well, and he had Michael help pick out the flowers and everything. So it was really sweet. I was like, "Aw," and because my husband's colorblind, it's been just a running joke in our house with like I know that some people would get frustrated by what's this color, what's that color, but it's like he and I would argue about what certain colors are. I'm like, dang it, I'm not the colorblind person here. You are. It's this color. And he goes, no, you're lying to me. And it's like, you got to be right all the time. It's just it's not him really wanting to be right. It's just more of an like him just trying to raise my hackles. So he could see me going, and he starts laughing at me. I'm like, and I give him the look, and then it's like, whatever. But anyway, he had Michael help out and pick out purple flowers, since, purple's my favorite color. I'm like, you didn't have to get purple ones. He goes, yeah, I do. It's your favorite. I'm like, no, it's okay. You don't need to get purple ones. But it was very sweet. So we got, some of the flowers have purple in them, and Michael was just like, oh, like, happy anniversary. And I'm like, aw, so cute. But yeah, it was just like, like I said, it was adorable. And I didn't really do much for my husband. I got him a card, so we, like I said, we didn't really go crazy for it. We just kind of celebrate it as a, yay, anniversary, because, 2 years after our first date, we also got engaged on the same day. So it's a very special day for me. So it's like, not only is it the first date anniversary, it's also the day we proposed. Well, he proposed. And goodness, I still give him grief about that. He was so mean during my proposal, guys. Like, he was really mean. um, I can talk about that, I guess, a little bit. So basically, it's 2 years. We've been dating for 2 years, right? And like, I'm still working. I'm working at Lens Crafters, and all that stuff. So I'm, I got my job. I got, a little bit, we've been living together and all that stuff. And we recreated the first date in a way. We can't really recreate it since we don't live in West Virginia anymore. But, went to a Chinese restaurant. I got myself, orange chicken. He gets his General Tso's, the same dish that we normally do. And then we go walk around the park, like we did for our first date. We walked around the park and stuff like that. So we went to a park that we normally visit. And we were sitting on the bleachers, and he's just like cuddling me and stuff like that. Not the bleachers, but the swings, watching the fountain on the lake, and everything. It was just very, very cute, right? And he's just asking me questions, right? And he's just all like, asking stuff about marriage and stuff like that. Like, he goes, well, what if I never propose to you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm willing to wait, like that kind of stuff. Just, just telling him things. And we were like, discussing our future and everything. And, after I said, that's okay, I'm willing to wait, and then he goes, well, what if you don't have to wait? And then he pulls the ring out. And I'm like, you are so mean. But yeah, that's how he proposed to me. It was just like, we were sitting on the swings. It was very cute, but at the same time, I always say he's very mean. It was like I said, it was very romantic and cute, but he was so mean. But yeah, he was just like, what if you don't have to wait? And I'm like, wait, what? And he goes, would you marry me? And shows me the ring. And I'm like, oh, I start crying. I just start crying. I blubber. And he goes, is that a yes? I'm like, yes. And I'm like, why are you going to trick me like that? Oh, man. So... But yeah, it's just like, but the unfortunate thing, since I worked in the lab portion of Lens Crafters, I couldn't wear my ring because of the polishing and the grinding. It's like so we have a thing that grinds the lenses, then we have a thing that smooths the lenses, then polishes the lenses, and then there's also other stuff. So I didn't want to ruin my ring. So I wore it around the necklace. Unfortunately, my necklace has a broken clasp. So I unfortunately lost my engagement ring about a year in of having it. So I was very sad. I had it for the wedding. But then, like, a month or so after the wedding, it was gone. I still wore my wedding ring, like, when I was working at Lens Crafters, because it was just a simple band. It wasn't, like, anything, like, simple like this. It wasn't anything fancy like this, even though this is a simple band. It was just a plain white gold a wedding band. Like, my husband and I couldn't really afford much. I paid for her wedding rings, and I kind of joked around like, man, yours were way more expensive than mine. Which was true. It was way more expensive than mine. Because they had mine in stock. They didn't have his ring in stock. Because he's a tall dude. He has big hands. He has big feet. Unfortunately, it was just like, he always has to get stuff that's just size, like, he always has to special order his stuff. And it's just like, so frustrating. So yeah, we had to special order his. And It was so much more than mine. It was so funny. It was like double the amount. And this is way back in 2008, so things were a little bit more cheaper back then, a little bit cheaper than it is nowadays. Because I'm looking at the price, I'm like, whoo, the price tripled now for my ring. Because it wasn't that expensive back then. Now it's really, well, I don't know if it would be considered really expensive, but it's not as cheap as it would have been for me. But anyway, yeah, I joked around about that a lot. But I was able to wear my wedding ring while I was at LensCrafters, because at least that wouldn't be as damaged. There was no stones or anything like that. But he told me the story about when he bought my engagement ring. They were asking him if he was sure he really wanted to pick a gemstone, like an amethyst, because like I said, purple's my favorite color, and he was adamant about the fact that he wanted to get me a purple ring. So, which he did. And it was like a little heart, and with an amethyst gem in it. So it was so pretty. And they were trying to upsell it and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't care about how expensive it is. The fact is, he wanted to marry me. It's just like, and who cares? Like they were like really trying to sell him to a diamond ring or anything. I'm like, no, this ring, it's perfect. It's just perfect. And I'm so mad that I've lost it. I'm so upset that it's gone, and I don't know where it's just into the abyss. I know that I was wearing it around my neck, and then I realized that it wasn't around my neck, like when I was walking home, and at that point it's gone, and I was so mad about that. But anyway, sorry. Kind of went on a little tangent there. I think I want to wrap it up here because I am definitely over an hour. But I apologize that I ended on that note. But I do hope you guys like this video. I am preparing for the Chrysabug along for next month. I hope you guys are excited. Don't know if you guys are sticking to the end to hear this. Maybe I'll mention it in my next video, hopefully, if I remember. It just popped in my head right now. But anyway, hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Otherwise, I hope you see you guys in the next video. All right, bye!